Hey, peoples! It has been too long since I have posted, and I just got home. I got off about a little over 3 hours ago, and I went to go see my child. There is so much shit that's been going on. And yes, I did say go visit my child because of a lot of the shit that's been happening the last 2 years. This is also why I haven't been posting. Good fucking God, I definitely need to start eating better. I was watching some of my old posts and I just realized when I went to go record, I'm like, man, not that I was skinnier then, but yeah. But I'm gonna try to make this short and sweet, which if you know my videos are not ever short and sweet. This one's definitely not sweet at all. But I'm going to get into it because I am in my driveway. And, I'm gonna try to make it as simple as possible. But since my last post, I was living with my ex's parents, my son's grandparents, and they were having a baby at the time, which she's about to be a year old next month in March. So mind you, we had me, my son, his dad, my ex's wife, their daughter, my ex's parents, and his brother. So that was 8 people in one house. And then them having another baby would make it 9 people. And we didn't have the room for it. So I appreciate everything that they've done for me, but I'm not trying to blame them for anything, but I feel, and I have no animosity towards them, but I feel like they already knew that they were going to pick me to be the one to have to move out. So, prior to that happening, I was working at my old location, which the last video I had, I was, I briefly talked, well, not in my last video, the one before that, I was talking about watching the Johnny Depp trial. I don't know if I said it in that video or if it was one of the shorts. Anyways, it was around that time frame. And I was working at my old location, and then I got an offer for the place I'm at now, working wise. So I took it. I was dating the guy that I was with at the time for nearly 5 years. I did not, this is like one of my first mistakes. I could kick my own ass for this, but essentially, I made the mistake of pretty much having a almost 5-year relationship go down the drain. Because when I went to the location that I'm working at now, there's one lady that was there. She was training me, and she's great. She's awesome. I still love her to this day, but she's in a different department now. But she was working for us. She was also a vendor. So she would stock our chicken wall. That's what I call it. And every so often, her son would come pick her up. When he had her car. So I've taken her to the gate a couple of times because I work on a government facility. And sometimes he'd come in and help her stock the chicken. And that's how I met him. And, sorry, I meant to tell you this earlier. I know. Someone's going to be like, oh, you had a ADHD moment. Whatever. I was looking at my hair and the thing. I'm like, oh, I forgot to tell them. Anyways, so that's how I met him. We hit it off and everything, whatnot, blah, blah, blah. Obviously, I told him I was with somebody, and the guy I was with for almost 5 years, we didn't have any problems. The only issue that I had with the relationship was the fact that there was not a lot of communication like I would like it to have been. So that's that. So that's why, and I feel like shit for this. I still do. And I still apologize to him, especially after the last 2 years that I've gone through. That was essentially my karma. But I left that person and started dating this guy, or got together with this guy. And if I would have known his history and everything else about him, I would have stuck to my guns and said, no, I'm not interested. Because things about him that I fucking found out. Hindsight is 20/20. Just know that. So, for a while, in the beginning, mind you, I went to my current location, the end of 2022, and then I met this guy like 2 months later. So, from February of 2023 to about mid-April of that year, everything was great, I feel bad now, obviously, and I feel shitty for it, and it's caused the decision of my son's grandparents as to why they chose me to be the one to leave their house, even though they were going to pin it on the fact that my ex and his wife were having a second child. I'm sitting there thinking about it. I'm like, y'all know damn well that's not the full truth. But anyways, I digress. But everything was great with this guy for a while. We were going to hotels and stuff. He was telling me about how he didn't get along with his dad, which I know firsthand. They really fight. Every time that they get into the room with each other, that's it. I mean, they fucking butt heads. Bad. Like, I can't even begin to tell y'all. But, I didn't know the depths of it at that point because I hadn't gotten to know his dad. When I first met his dad, I hadn't met him yet at that point. He came over since I was working with my former coworker, and she introduced me, and he was nice to me and everything. He was nice to me up until the point that I started hanging out with his son. And then things just changed automatically. Like, oh, you're associated with my piece of shit son. Well, I don't like you either. Which, honestly, I don't give a flying fuck. His dad's a piece of shit anyways. Anyway, so, I got in good with them, about April. We were in this hotel and whatnot. He was, he's a social butterfly. I am not. So he was talking to one of the neighbors in the hotel that was staying there. And, she took it as he was flirting, she was flirting back, and something happened. Like, I had a doctor's appointment the day that I went over there. He sent me a text saying he wanted to be alone, which, first off, now looking at it, is odd. Because he is one of those people that cannot, for the fucking life of him, stand being alone. He just can't. I'm sorry, my hands, I'm trying to find comfortable positions to hold my phone. He can't stand being alone. He has to be with somebody, like, maybe not all the time, but often enough that it could pretty much be all the time. So when he said that, I didn't think anything of it at the time. Now looking at it, yes, I understand. That was a huge red flag. Obviously, I didn't see it at the time. But I found out that he was hanging out with this girl who had 2 kids. The only reason that she was there was because there was an older guy that was paying for her room, and he considered her his girlfriend, which she was just like, yeah, no, fuck that. So she was using that guy for a room. Eventually I found out from his baby mama, one of them, that he had been hanging out with her. Well, she put on Facebook that they were dating. Now, first off, when you put that you're dating somebody and you want to tag them, the other person has to accept it. He did. I found out that day. I was like, all right, something's off. I had a doctor's appointment and I went over there because he hadn't been talking to me for some time, and I was trying to figure out what the fuck was going on. And so he was acting shady. And I went over there. I went to the room that we were at. He wasn't there. Nobody was there. I saw a pair of pink, like the Victoria's Secret pink, but the pants were the color of pink pants on the bed. Yeah. And then I found out from his baby mama, which he was pissed off about because he was going to eventually tell me. He didn't know how to fucking tell me. That he had been talking to this girl. Right then and there. If I would have gone back in time and, with the knowledge that I have now, I would have just said, all right, have fun with the bitch. I fucking can't stand her. And she got exactly what she fucking deserves. She lost her kids because she chose to go with some fucking dude that did meth and did meth herself. And she lost her kids because her mother got emergency custody of the kids. And the kid was like, the older kid was like, if you go back with this guy, I will disown you as my mother and never talk to you again. And that's exactly what happened. So anyway, they started dating, and, I would have gone back in time and been like, look, this is what's going on. You don't want to fuck with this dude. He needs to be out of your life. I would at least have my car back. Or I would still have my car. I wouldn't have had as much money as I used to, which I forgot to add the fact that he actually would take money or ask for money, which I found out later on. I was going to get to it, but I'll go ahead and say it now. He had substance abuse. Didn't want to tell me about it until his mom gave him an ultimatum to where he either tells me or she does. So he finally said something about it, as much as he didn't want to lose me because he didn't know how I was going to react. And he was with this girl for about, April, May, June, July, about 3.5 months they were together. And then, they would go back and forth. I'm done with her. And then he goes back. I'm done with her. I'm finally done with her. Back, forth, back, forth, back, forth. My birthday was on Mother's Day that year, and I thought, maybe we can spend the time together. Maybe, whatever, blah, blah. He didn't want to take the cats back home. So he's like, I don't know what to do. I want to take the cat somewhere, but I don't want to go back to my house because of his dad. So instead, he's like, the only thing I can think of is going back to her room. Okay, well, he fucked up my birthday / Mother's Day. And so that's one birthday he fucked over. The other one was last year, but I'm going to get to that. If he ever sees this, he's going to be pissed off that I put our business out there. But you know what? I don't care. I have to vent. I've been venting to my besties about it, and he got mad about that because they're not in our relationship. I don't care. Who else am I supposed to fucking talk to? You're not going to help me out. Because you have your side and I have my side. Anyways. I take him back over there. He's there. Then he gets stuck back into the relationship with her. Finally, when they were finally done, he is in this one other hotel. Completely different. And, I haven't told my mom about this. I haven't even told my dad about this because I know he would be fucking livid, because I am. I'm super fucking livid. And even though it's not a large amount, that doesn't matter. It's the point of the fact that he did this. I had a little bit of an inheritance of $200 that I got from my grandfather on my dad's side. And the day that I got it, first off, I should have went straight home. I know I should have, and I should have left it at home. But I didn't. I got something to eat for my child and then I dropped my child off, which, yes, I should have taken out of the car then, but anyways, it's past is past. I went over to the room, and, at that point, I had fallen asleep. This bitch stole the rest of the money so he can buy his shit to smoke. And yes, he could have paid me back. But I'm still fucking pissed about it. He stole an inheritance from me that was not fucking his, and I gave him an earful. I said that money was not for you to have. That was my money from my grandfather. And I'll never fucking see it again because your dumbass decided to fucking steal from me while I was sleeping to go buy shit. So, the next thing, he took the car I had. I had the red car from last time. I don't think I ever told you guys about it. Maybe you did. I don't know. Whatever. I had a 2017 Chevy Cruze, bright red, like fire engine red. And he took it to go to one of his people. When he was coming back to the room, because I was asleep, I was tired, he got into an accident. Mind you, it was the other person's fault, but the point is he was coming back from the place with a mutual, at the time, mutual friend of ours, and got it wrecked. Mind you, the doors on the driver's side and the passenger side were the only things that were fucked over. Everything else was fine. The only reason why I don't have that car anymore is because the airbags. Once the airbags go, that's it. It's totaled. I didn't have the money to pay for my insurance, unfortunately. Well, it had come to an end anyways, but renewing is what I'm trying to get at. I didn't have the money for renewal because this fucker kept on asking me for money. And so I was short on her trying to renew it. So that, I got fucked over. I had to bite the bullet for that one, and I'm still fucking pissed about that too, because I fucking loved that car. I was almost done paying it off. Almost. But I don't have that car anymore. The car that I'm in right now is my ex's wife, her car. They are leasing it to me, so I'm responsible for everything. Essentially, I am also paying on it, so they're paying half and I'm paying half. That's, and I got this last July. So after he wrecked the car, I had no way to get to work. I was freaking out. I'm like, how the fuck am I supposed to get to work now? All the while, Alex's grandparents, my son's grandparents, were viewing this shit. And I'm so fucking sorry. I should have been there more. But anyway, it's just, I ended up having to get rides from his mom because, we usually we both closed, but she went in earlier so she can stock the chicken. So I went in with her. She got another job eventually in the admin's office, which is where she's at now. And so I had to figure out how to get to work. I ended up having to take the fucking bus, which I fucking hated. Although sometimes it wasn't too bad. I hated taking the bus, especially in the summer months before I got this car, because it was fucking hot. We're talking like 90-degree weather. And I had to walk from the bus stop on base, because the bus doesn't go on base, have them check my ID and everything, and walk all the way down to where I worked at. And it was fucking hot because there was no trees, because, they can't have the trees next to the, where the planes fly and stuff. I was miserable. I really was. And, during that time, I had to move out the end of February. Beginning of February. I had to move out and find a place. So I should have came here. I'm at my mom's. I should have came here. But I didn't. I ended up I ended up having to live with my coworker, and like I said, I was dating her son, whatever, blah, blah. And that, first off, I did a thing on TikTok, those stupid little filters. And one of them was the worst year of your life. This was like in 2022. Jokingly, it's had, a couple of dates, and he's like, no, this is what happened, no, whatever. it said 2023, and I'm like, oh, great, don't tell me that. Let me tell you guys, 2023 was, I'll say, one of the worst years of my fucking life. Because after I met this guy, everything just fell apart. It went downhill. The money I had, I lost pretty much nearly all of it. This bitch owes me enough to buy 2 cars. I lost all the money I had. Most of it. I'll just say most of it. My credit score went from, I don't know, I don't really want to say, well, it's getting better, but it went from the 700s down, plummeted to the 400s. Really fucking quick. It's not there anymore. I'm not going to say what it is, but it's not that low anymore. I lost my car. I was pretty shitty about the time lost with my child. And what else? I was evicted, basically. And also the fact that he left me for some other stupid cunt bubble. But that's a nickname that one of my friends joked around about it. You know, he came up with for somebody or whatever. But yes, 5 things in my life that pretty much, I know part of it was my fault. I got myself into debt because I was getting credit cards just so that, you know, he wouldn't go back to her. And that I had money. He asked me for money so many times. I literally had no money to buy lunch when I went to work. So I fucking starved all day long. And I tell you, that's the fastest way that I lost weight. Because when I went to the location I'm at, I went from about 245 down to 205 within a matter of a couple of months. Because I couldn't eat anything. I had no money. And when I said something to him about it, he's like, okay, I'll throw something towards you. And $5 ain't gonna do shit. $5. What can I get for that? Like a drink and maybe crackers. That's it. That's not fucking lunch. And all the while everyone's like, oh, you look so great. You lost so much weight. How'd you do it? And I'm like, I had to lie to them. You know, I've gained it back and then some. But that's why I said what I said. I swear to you, I have more gray hairs than I did before I met him. He stressed me out that fucking much. I thought maybe 2024 would be better. It just got worse. Worse. The worst fucking time of my life. Because although I appreciate my former coworker, his mother, for allowing me to stay there, and she was trying to help me, not just because of that, but she was trying to give me advice to not give him any money, because we both know he will do at the time, he would do anything to get money, whether it's call her at work because she's not answering her phone. He would call me, or he would text me to be like, tell my mother to look at her phone. No, she is working. That is her time to not. And I've told him since I left, don't call me at work. Work is off limits. You know, he's done it a couple of times, but it got to a point when I got this car, finally. It used to be that Things were so bad because he would smoke every fucking day. And every time he asked for money, I'd say no because I didn't have it. How am I supposed to save if you keep asking me for money every day? Multiple times a day. But I don't know. All the cards that I got, it's in the National Debt Relief. I've been paying them off. One of them is paid off already. The other one's about halfway paid off. And whatever. And so, I got tired of it. I was on vacation for my birthday that year. Last year. This is the second birthday that he fucked me over. And I was off for a whole week. For a couple of days, he wasn't even there. And I had no car to go drive myself to go anywhere. You know, like... Although, I'm not gonna lie, it was nice to actually have some fucking peace and quiet. Because he ruined shit when it came to conversations when he was high. So... when I did have a car, he would be like, he'd tell his mom, oh, she needs gas money because blah, 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 blah. And, you know, she'd give him 20 to give to me. And he'd only give me $5 of it for fucking gas. That's not enough. That ain't shit. But, whatever. And then... at the time I didn't have a car, I was ranting to my besties, and he could not fucking stand it. He still can't. But he can't stop me. He's kind of given up on that because he's like, well, you're going to tell them whatever you want anyways. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to fucking tell them the goddamn truth. So we'd argue every single day. Every day, every day, every day, every day, every day. And it drove his dad up the wall. They'd get into an argument because they would hear us going back and forth. Quietly, but when he was high, like, he would say things like, don't do this. Can you please stop doing that? Stop doing this. Stop doing that. Because he was hallucinating. And I don't know what the fuck he saw. But apparently, he was seeing something that wasn't happening, and I just got tired of it. We had gotten into some fights. Not physical, because that would have been the last straw. But verbally. Like, very verbally. Like, we would argue. And it takes a lot for me to get to a point where I will start screaming in your fucking face to get the fuck away from me. But he would constantly get me there. Quick. Like, in a snap. Didn't take him any time at all to get me to that point. And it usually takes a fucking lot for me to get to that point. But he did it with ease. And I said to myself and to my friends, I can't do this anymore. I don't want to. I can't. Mentally, it's fucking with me. And they're like, you need to get out of there. As soon as you get this car, you need to get your shit and get out. And my best friend, God, I fucking love this woman. She's like, well, when you get your shit, make sure you have police there to get your shit. I didn't need to do that, thankfully. And I didn't really want to do that because then it would have caused a bigger issue with his parents. So what I did do when I got the car, eventually he started working at a grocery store. When he was gone, either to go to his people or when he was at work and no one was there, I would get as much as I could of the things I really didn't need, put it in the car, little bit by little bit, I would start taking things out. I ended up sleeping downstairs a couple times because I wanted to be alone. I didn't want to be around him. I couldn't stand being around him some days. And I would take stuff downstairs. Things I really didn't need, I ended up putting in the car. Eventually, he went to his son's birthday dinner, and I told him, hey, I'm going to take some of these clothes that I don't need to wear right now to my unit in baskets. So that was just me saying, I'm going to get my shit out while you're not here, because I couldn't stand being there. And so that's what I did. I put them in bags. I took the basket downstairs. I think his dad was like passed out or something like that, because he usually works like stupid o'clock in the morning. And I took the basket out, put it in the car back there. And, I left it until the next day, to when I can go to my storage unit and drop it off, which it's still there. I got some clothes. But I was slowly, little bit by little bit, while he wasn't even noticing, taking everything out. Everything out. Whatever. Eventually, he gets to the point where he has female friends that are damsels in distress. And he wants to be the fucking hero, but at other people's expense. And I honestly think he's still like that. You can't do that. You're putting other people in jeopardy because you want to help your friend. I'm sorry, they put themselves in that position. That's their problem. But I need to wrap this up here. I've been sitting here for about 36 minutes. And I'm sure my mom's thinking that I'm at my friend's house. No. Anyways, point is, I was slowly taking shit out. One day, he actually wanted me to get a room for his friend because she was in another room with a bunch of guys, which, first off, you put yourself there. Whatever happens to you, I'm sorry, but you put yourself in that position. It's not my issue to dish out money just so you can get a room to get away from that. And then ended up being she didn't even show up. So he was at the room by himself, and I got to a point, he wouldn't let it go. He kept on pushing and pushing and pushing. And when you push me to the edge, I will fucking charge. I'm a fucking Taurus. So, he knew this. But he kept on going. He didn't give a fuck. And I was like, fine. Fucking fine. And I got so fucking angry. He wanted to be all nice and shit because he got what he fucking wanted. But I said, after I dropped him off, I went back to the house, his house. I said, fuck this. No one was home. No one was home at all. I grabbed every fucking thing that I had left in that house, put it in the fucking car. By the time I finished everything, because I had to wash clothes, I got the rest of mine done. I got this brown blanket that my son's father gave me. I was just going to say fuck it, but I was like, no, this is a nice blanket. I'm going to take this shit. And he had cats. The guy that I'm just talking about. He had cats. One of them is not neutered. He needs to be, like I keep fucking telling him, because he sprays. And I took that blanket, put it in a bag, a trash bag, took it to the laundromat right down the street. I grabbed whatever I could, and by the time that I finished and got everything down there, both of his parents were home. His dad didn't give a shit. They're eating dinner. And so I said, all right, I'll see y'all later. I'm out. I don't know if his mom knew at the time. I don't think she did. She's like, okay, bye. So I took everything out. made sure I had everything. Everything was in the car. I started the car and I fucking left. And I didn't have any intention to ever come back. And I still don't. I don't. I texted her when I was at the laundromat because I took that blanket to the laundromat and washed the shit out of it. Not literal, but I washed it. Like, I thoroughly washed it. It's in my storage unit right now, with the other blankets and all my other stuff. But I texted her while I was waiting for the washing to be done. And I messaged my mom. I was like, hey, because she knows everything about what happened. She never liked him anyways because of when he left me for the other chick. But I told her what was going on. I told her, I was like, hey, I might need to take you guys up on that offer because I can't do this being here anymore. So she said, okay, well, come over, whatever. And I've been here since then. But I went to the laundromat, started washing the blanket, and I texted his mom and told her what was going on. I was like, I can't do this with him anymore. He's pushed me too far to the point where I'm like, fuck this. I'm out. I'm withdrawing from this relationship. I can't do it anymore. I can't fucking stand it anymore. She understood because she's had to deal with his shenanigans. And, she was sympathetic on it. She understood. She's like, I'm sorry that he had to put you through that, blah, blah, blah. And, yeah, so, she understood why I left. I found out later, because I could have left him a letter or a text, and I didn't, because he doesn't deserve that courtesy. That she told him that I left, as in, I left. He didn't believe it. He didn't believe her. He's like, what? No, she's still here. No, bitch, I fucking left, and I wasn't coming back. So, he went up there, he saw all my stuff was gone, he went downstairs, all my shit was gone. Everything. In the bathroom, in his room, downstairs where I would stay. No, I wasn't, I had all my shit gone. And according to him, he went on a binge. And then I haven't done it since then. So, and he's sympathetic and he wants to turn his life around and this and that, and there are so many times that you could have turned your fucking life around. And if I had the car prior to July, I would have left a long time ago. Had I known that my life was going to be like it is, or was, I would have left. I would have not even looked back. Oh, God. I wish I had the knowledge in the beginning, because I would have just kept my life the way it was. Even if I had to have moved out, I at least would have had money for an apartment for myself. And I would have had my child with me. Which is why he's not with me. And I fucking hate it. I'm trying to save up so that I can get an apartment for myself. But since then, and I left in September, so it's now February. September, October, November, December, January, February. 5 months. I've been gone for 5 months, and since then, he has not fucking stopped trying to get my attention. Calls, text messages. I can't even fucking block him because he's got a text app where he can change his number. He calls the fucking store, and I've told him, I can't even begin to tell you guys how many times I have told him, my fucking job is off limits. I don't care that you called multiple times before because you used to call your mom. Which, to her, I'm sorry that he did that. Oh, God. My bestie, the same one I was talking about earlier, actually both of them, are both like, you need to get a no contact order or protection order. And my bestie was telling me her story with her ex-husband, because he was a piece of shit too, except his addiction was alcohol. And she even now is just like, she doesn't understand why I haven't done it sooner. I don't even understand it either. And, I need to make sure that my heart knows better. But if I knew for a fucking fact that he didn't have access to calling the store, I would block him on everything. I've already blocked him on Instagram. I've already blocked him on Twitter because he was digging some dirt because he's afraid to lose me to my fucking ex, which we've started talking again. Not recently, but here and there, sporadically. And he hasn't taken the hint. I have tried to ignore everything. The shit that he pulled recently, I just started screenshotting because my bestie's like, you need to make sure that you screenshot. The thing was with Messenger, you can unsend things. So I started taking screenshots because if I need to have some type of evidence, I got it. He's crossing boundaries, but yeah, that's what's been happening with me. That's part of the reason why I haven't been posting the last 2 years. I know it's a lot, and I'm looking at it, and I really did not want it to be about like almost an hour long video. But if you have gotten to this point, I really, 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 really appreciate you. And I'm sorry, it took forever for me to say this stuff. And when I do these videos, at the time of recording, it doesn't seem like it's that long. But when I go back to watch it, it's just like, wow, this is a really long video about, whatever. I'm trying to change that, but I don't know. At a certain point, it did look like he was sincere enough. And I thought about, because he wanted to come to the convention with me, and I let him. But I'm not going to go into that one. It seemed like at the time, maybe we could have worked things out. But then there was just other things afterwards that just was like, sealed the deal. Like, no, I can't do this. I'm sorry. I can't. And so he got pissed off. And now he's at this point where he's like, oh, well, you're honing over your ex. For a point, he thought I was talking to my ex every fucking day. And I'm like, no. I don't talk to him every day. I don't go over there every day. The only thing I do is go to work and come home. And I did hang out with him for a little bit. But after a while, I was just like, no, I can't do this with him. So I'm at a point right now where I'm here with my mom, and I'm trying to save while also contemplating if I should transfer to another fucking store. Although I like the place that I'm at. If I transfer to another store, he can't fucking bother me unless he finds out that number, and I'll just be like, yeah, no. I'm actually doing research into getting a no contact order. And as much as I really don't want to, because I've had this phone number for pretty much since I was married, I may have to change it, depending on how bad things get. He's trying. He says that he's... fine, you stopped smoking. Great. I'm happy for you. You should have done it a long time ago if you wanted a relationship, but it is done now. A day late and a dollar short, as my ex-husband would say. But don't do it for me. Do it for yourself and your kids. And it's funny that I say that because his baby mama said the same fucking thing. Even his mom would say that, like, don't get yourself together, don't get yourself together for any relationship romantically. I mean, if you're married, then yes, and you want to make things work, then sure. But if you've broken up with somebody and now you're trying to, get yourself straight just so you can win them back, don't. Just, if you're going to do it for yourself. And if you have children, for them. I don't care that he, I'm glad that he's doing better and that he's doing well for himself. But I'm over it. I mean, I forgive him for the shit that he's done, even though I'm pissed off about it. But it's done. I'm not going to forget about it, but I can't. It's mentally taxing. It's, mentally, physically, emotionally, financially, all of it. I can't. He won't let me fucking heal, and that's why I wish I could block him. I can block him on Facebook. He's gonna be bitching about it. I can block him on, text message, but he'll fucking change his stupid ass number. And if I don't, and I keep blocking all of his numbers, he's gonna eventually call the store again, which I'm like, no. So the only thing I can think of that will make him fucking stop, and even then, I'm not even sure because he may violate it, is to get a no contact order, because there's nothing left. He's trying to make it like I can't be with anybody else, and he's my final destination, and vice versa. And I'm like, no. You are not my final destination. I am so fucking sorry, but you're not. Otherwise, I would have not left. But it's getting to be way too long. I need to get inside. I'm off tomorrow, but I got some errands to do tomorrow. I'm sure my mom wants to go to bed, but I'm going to end it here. That's the biggest update that I've got for you guys. And what a fucking roller coaster it was. 2 years doesn't seem like a long time. I mean, it kind of is in some aspects. But I tell you, that's the longest time of my fucking life. Worst 2 years. And I know if he sees this, he's going to be like, well, that doesn't make me feel any better. That makes me feel like shit, And he's very manipulative. He'd say otherwise, but he says the same fucking shit. Every fucking text. Wow. I can't believe you're doing this. Wow, really? It's the same thing over and over and over and over. And what I want is for him to stop. I've asked him to stop, and he won't. He doesn't know when to fucking quit. Anyway, I just want silence. He's not He's not a bad person as far as wanting to help people and being kind and shit. But when it comes to his gain, I can't. But yeah, that's all for now. I would like to actually start doing more videos and shit again. But they're probably going to end up being car videos until I get my own place. Oh no, I'm working on it. But that's the life update for y'all. So, if you've come to this point, I'm so sorry, but thank you for watching. I'm glad that you guys allowed me to vent to you. I'm sure that, maybe there might be a couple of people that will have some advice and some stories of their own where they've dealt with shit like this. And to other people who are trying to get out of relationships like this, I know it is difficult. I never fucking thought that I was going to be in this type of situation ever in my life. But here I am. So, you're not alone. I actually thought about getting therapy, but we'll see how that goes. I might actually do the BetterHelp thing. I don't know. I'll look online. But I'm going to go inside. I love you guys. Thank you for watching, and I will talk to you guys another time. I want to start making gaming videos too, but we'll see how that goes. So, bye y'all. Good night. Have fun. Sweet dreams, whatever, all that jazz. So, bye.